29th. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Kenna.
President Ricky Bell.
Here.
Mr. Conti.
Here.
Dr. Carpenter.
Present.
Ms. Lualbo. Here. Mr. McCarthy.
Here.
Ms. Provenza.
Here.
Mr. Suchovich. Here. Mayor Recupero.
Here.
And Mr. Pitch.
Here.
Okay, no registered comments. Council will hear comments on agenda-related items at the time. Please approach the podium and clearly state your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Borough Manager's report.
I don't have a whole lot. Just a reminder for council members that tomorrow at 5 o'clock we're supposed to be here for the municipal tour with Rich Fitzgerald. So if you guys are going to be here, please be here tomorrow around 5 so that we can get that going. And then the Memorial Day Parade, I'm not sure if anybody else can bring it up, I think went off pretty well. It was supposed to be one of their nicest ones they've had. We had a little bit of a hiccup with some of the landscaping around the memorial, but I think it turned out pretty good. And the gentleman that does the rest of the borough, Resnick Landscaping, came in on Sunday and finished it up and spruced it up, and it looked really nice for us. So I think everything went pretty well.
No charge to the borough.
No charge to the borough. Came in to do it for nothing.
I suggested, I think, a gift card either to Freedom or the Village or even Gecko for gas is necessary for him because he did it on a Sunday at no cost to the borough.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
I kind of have a problem with that. We have a lot of volunteers throughout the town that come out on a Sunday, a Saturday evening and do work. We don't reward them.
I understand that, but he did it on the spur of the moment. Okay, he's not a volunteer, he's a paid employee of ours, and he did it out of courtesy to us and to the veterans.
Well, then maybe we should pay him for his time for Sunday.
And that could be a consideration too.
So I have a question too. My understanding is another landscaper's in charge of that area, taking care of it?
Yes.
So my confusion is, why did he not take care of it?
I think the best thing for you to do is he's on chamber, to go to a chamber meeting and voice your concern about that.
Maybe we could take the money that we would have given him to do it and transfer that to Mr. Resnick.
Well, how much did he actually do the other landscaping?
Well, the grass was cut, and it wasn't, I don't think that it looked terrible.
Yeah, that's what you said when you called me.
There was stuff that should obviously have been done. I mean, there were weeds throughout the beds, and there were weeds in the bricks and like that.
The problem was there were a bunch of complaints about it. That's why we had to get something done.
I mean, it's your choice. I will get him the gift card.
I mean, it's the board's choice. It ain't my choice. I'm just giving an opinion.
I mean, it's my idea, so I will certainly be glad to do that. Anything else?
That's all I have.
And also, on the, well, he brought up, because I was going to bring it up also, the Memorial Day Parade. Next year, they're going to, we give to, what do we give to them every year?
$150.
Yeah, they're going to probably, I was talking to the gentleman that organizes it, and they're going to probably ask for a few dollars more. They want to get a porta-john down at the corner and bottled water in between the two towns, you know, to split the cost. Because a lot of people were, you know, wanted to go to the bathroom, people, you know, in the band and everything. We just didn't have, I mean, we did have the Borough Building open, but they were down at that end, close to the starting time. I mean, it's just something to consider next year. They're going to be asking us. So, you know, I talked to the gentleman, and especially the bottled water. to have, stations starting off here in Verona, maybe in the middle of the town, maybe like up on Plum Street or something, then on the way up the hill. It was pretty hot.
And I participated in that parade as well as you. And it's very hot.
Yeah.
So.
Where would they put that thing?
They were talking about down by the parking lot, down by the Eagles there.
Oh, over here?
Yeah,
Okay.
down in there. But it's just, something to consider for next year.
That's a good idea, I think.
Unless the Eagles would open, they even asked, do you think they would open up their, restroom? I said, I have no idea. I would have to talk to the Siennas.
Are you're talking about the Eagles here in Verona?
Yeah, right up the road.
Okay, so maybe also has some bottled water in Oakmont somewhere?
Right, between the two towns,
Yeah.
we split the cost.
Yeah.
Whatever, the water's cheap, what is it, $3.99 for 32 pack?
Yeah, that's
Go to
rich.
Sam's or whatever, you always see it on, Then I remember getting it for the fall festival. It's very inexpensive. But I just want to let everybody know, they're going to probably, ask both communities, up the, for the parade cost.
I can remember some
That's
parades.
why.
I can remember some parades going up through Oakmont, up Pensy. We always have a couple coolers of bottled water on our fire engines.
Right.
And some band members went down and whatever, and we just started passing it out. So that's another option too, because us in Oakmont always have water on our,
You figure all the
engines.
equipment they have on those band members, those heavy jackets,
So-
carrying all that
yeah, it gets hot walking up that hill.
trombones and what have you, drums. But I just wanted to bring that up just to forewarn everybody. It's a year from now, I understand. All right.
You're up.
I'm sorry, what?
You're up.
Matt's going to bring a few things up him and I discussed. And I had talked to Mr. Steinhaus about the grass situation in Verona, and he can elaborate on that more when the time comes. He had said we got like 28 citations out for high grass. And appreciate you keeping up on that and doing what you're doing. And also, it was overlooked last meeting with the Garden Club on their flyer sale, and I personally want to apologize on that. You guys did a fine job. Thank you for the fundraiser. Thank you for putting, getting organized and everything.
Thank you for that, I appreciate it.
I don't think it was anything personal on this board. I totally forgot about it. But I'm
Well,
not
thank you
sure.
for acknowledging that, I appreciate that, that means a lot.
They look very nice,
Thank you.
the flowers.
Yes, we do. That's all I have at this time.
Speaking of the garden club, a guy I work with comes through Verona every day. He said how nice the baskets and everything look.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that.
He asked how long they've been doing it. I said, last few years. I said they started it, so.
And on that-
Everybody does notice it.
Good. That's what we want.
Every year I'm invited to the tales of the two towns up at the library, and I've had so many compliments on the community, on how nice it's looking, both Front Street, Back Street, and everything. So people are taking notice of, what we're doing throughout the town, what everybody's doing throughout the town. So
Yeah, when I was weeding down at the memorial,
that looks nice too over there.
yeah, thank you. No, I'm talking about the Doughboy, I'm
Oh.
talking to, I had 6 people stop the car and thank me. So it is appreciated.
Right.
The people in the town do appreciate it.
Right,
so.
and that wall too looks
And
very
the wall,
nice.
a lot of,
Yeah.
a lot of positive feedback on that wall,
Yeah,
so,
everything
yeah,
looks
I'm
very
real
nice.
pleased with the way everything looks. And thank you.
Thanks to everybody, yes.
Can I just add, I don't know what the answer is to this, but in addition to high grass, there's also tons of weeds and grass growing up in the cracks of a lot of sidewalks. I don't know how we handle that, maybe do a general letter to everybody and ask them to please maintain their sidewalks. I mean, the town is looking so great. When you get into the neighborhood, sometimes it's just looking kind of ratty because some people don't maintain their sidewalks. I just wanted to say that so I didn't forget later, thanks.
And I needed just a 5 minutes, not even that, exact on the parks. Afterwards, we don't have to come back in.
All right. Just a couple of things here. I attended the COG meeting last Wednesday. Very informative. The 5 pieces of road equipment that are purchased, they'll be coming, and I'll let you do that, okay? I turned it over to Don so he knows what's available for our borrowing. The bike derby is on June 9th. The helmets are in the process of being ordered. Everything else is Dirty Harry's is here. The DJ has been ordered. The Hope Trauma Center is going to be here to provide information to parents and that if kids are at high risk for emotional problems. The Shriners are going to have their vehicles here. Is the fire department going to provide the ice for us?
Yes.
Okay. So that was the only other thing.
We just have to get some coolers, make sure we,
I have to.
that might, I don't know if
I don't know if that big white one's still back there or not, that's been there for a long time.
Okay.
we got a couple
I'll
of big
check
yellow
later this
things we
week.
can,
Okay, so you
We'll
and
work something
Ray.
out.
Okay.
I'll get with Ray.
What about tents?
That might, Jerry didn't know if there was too many tents back there, so I think we have one at home that we can certainly lend out.
How about the chambers?
There's chamber tents.
Do they have them back there still?
I don't know.
I'll ask you, I can ask you. Or that door's not locked, huh?
No.
No.
We just used them, 3 of them, I think, for the garden sale on the
Okay.
beginning of May.
Everybody's gonna need a tent, whatever stations you have.
A day like today,
Including the
yeah.
DJ should have his own, but just in case.
Right.
Well, there were 3 small ones, and I believe there was another humongous one that we did not use. That's my understanding of what the chamber owns.
I'll check with Kevin. The only other thing are the street signs, look very, very nice. People have been commenting on those. There's been some concern, I know Marcia texted me that from down here, as well as some neighbors in that the name street is used as opposed to avenue. And I know Rhoda, when she was on council, was instrumental in getting this together. Dawn, you could probably elaborate. But she checked this out with the county, on the county portal.
We had meetings with the county representatives and post office.
Right.
And that's the rule, that was what they said.
And it's on the county portal as streets, so if anybody says anything that...
I also worked with Rhoda.
Yeah.
And we checked with the county, we checked with the post office, and if there was a discrepancy there, the last one that broke the tie was emergency management. So if you were to call 911, whatever they had it as a street or avenue, that's what broke the tie.
And I think that was one of the concerns from somebody on 3rd to Marcia today or sometime this week, that if she has an emergency and she calls 911, she doesn't want them going to 3rd in Rosedale. But way back, I was told that the difference between 3rd Street in Verona and 3rd Street in Rosedale is the number of digits in the house number. So Rosedale has 4 and Verona has 3, so everybody should be aware of that. So those are the only 3 things I have.
to elaborate on that, the county does have all that set up.
Right.
I mean, you call in from your home phone and it states Verona, Borough of Verona, or like out near on 3rd Street in Penn Hills, it states they're from the municipality of Penn Hills.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's a street or avenue, that has not really been an issue since we've been with county dispatching. We've got dispatched at Trevosburg, 3rd Street in Trevosburg.
Okay.
But that was a long haul, but no, but they got it pretty good down there. They got it set up pretty good down at 911 center.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pitch.
I have a few items tonight. The first, we opened bids for the Diamond Way sanitary repair and for the 2018 paving. The sanitary repair came in right around as expected. The low bid was $32,100. It was A. Moranti Contracting. I've checked his resources, or references, everything checks out. So with a motion to award to them in the amount of $32,100, we can get the contract started.
Okay, can I have a motion for A Moranti Contracting at $32,100 to, that's for Diamond Way, Matt?
Correct, the point repair that.
To point repair Diamond Way.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Conti. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
The next item is the 2018 paving for Verona Street. We opened those. They all came in right around as expected. The low bidder actually came in a little bit lower, so we'll save some money there. It is Independent Enterprises, and they came in at $36,145. So with a motion to approve that, we can also get that contract started.
Can I have a motion to appoint Independent Contracting to pave and repair Brunot Street for $36,145?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions?
I have just one question. Do you know how long they need till they start meeting?
That I will find out for sure. It takes.
I know they know even though they're awarded.
Yeah, once we award, it takes 3-4 weeks to get all the bonds and insurance in place. So we're probably looking like a July, more like an August. It depends on their time frame too. If they're full, it might get pushed to September, but definitely this summer. And I'll let everyone know. I can even let Curtis know so he can get it out.
Motion on the floor. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
The next item is for the phase 1 of the sanitary project, the lining project we had done. The contractor got me their pay estimate too. I've reviewed it. Everything checks out. So that is through the COG. They handle all the paperwork, but we just have to do the periodic payment and approve it. So this second payment would be in the amount of $19,648.66.
Okay, can I have a motion to, what was the name of the contract?
In Situ Form Technologies.
In Situ Form Technologies for the completion of Phase 1 for $19,648.66.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Conti.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
I apologize, I thought I lowered that.
I thought I did too,
I
David.
thought mine was on mute.
Kids.
That's what it was.
I'm waiting for the phone call.
At the last meeting, the board had approved me to looking into a Greenways Trails and Recreation Program grant through DCED for a new pavilion at Cribbs Field.
Concession stand.
It also has concession, yes. The grant awards up to $250,000 with a 15% match. So once I contacted some manufacturers to get what we desire for restrooms, concession, and pavilion, it gets rather costly. It's about $180,000 delivered, or installed, I'm sorry. And then you have the site work, the concrete work, and everything that goes along with it. So that being said, we are looking at a total project cost of $261,000. The local 15% match would be $39,285. So we would be requesting a grant of $222,673. With that, we have to submit a resolution just stating that what we are requesting for, and it's the official authorized resolution. I can read it in its entirety, that way we have it on record.
Okay.
Be it resolved that the Borough of Verona of Allegheny County hereby requests a Greenways Trails and Recreation Program grant of $222,673 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for Cribbs Field Pavilion Project. Be it further resolved, the applicant does hereby designate Sandy DeBricky Bell, Council President, as the official to execute all documents and agreements between the Borough of Verona and the Commonwealth Financing Authority to facilitate and assist in attaining the requested grant. I, Jerry Kenna, duly qualified manager of Borough of Verona, Allegheny County, PA, hereby certify that the foregoing is true and correct copy of the resolution duly adopted by the majority vote at workshop meeting held May 29th, 2018, and said resolution has been recorded in the minutes of Verona Borough Council and remains in effect to this date.
The one that's up there now, we can't renovate that?
The problem I looked into, and AJ and I took some measurements of it. In order to be able to use the restrooms, we would have to totally gut them and make them ADA compliant, which you would be down to 1 toilet per restroom. And even at that, that little closet that is kind of used for storage concession, we'd probably even have to remove that wall, and you would just basically get 2 toilets, and that's all that. And the existing one would definitely require a new roof on it. So once we started weighing the pros and cons, it was more of a new pavilion route.
We will, I mean, if we do get this grant, we will need some type of room for our repeater in there.
Yeah, there's a plumbing chase between the 2 restrooms that could be used for some small storage, or it could be, we could put it in a locked cabinet, some type of security cabinet within the concession area.
What kind of repeater's in there, Dave? What's that for?
For the police channel.
Police?
Yeah.
Are they still using that?
That was from old Tarentum.
Jerry said they're still using it, because I asked the chief, because I asked him about the battery of it that should be maintained. I'll have to look into that.
I always thought that repeater was for Tarentum.
At that time,
And then the borough,
we had our own channel.
street crew.
Right.
But I would think everything goes right through their radios to the county now, unless there's some special police thing.
Because I had inquired about the batteries, and for them to go up and look, I'll look into that. You could be right, you may be.
Because they went to new radio frequencies.
Yeah, they're on 400 now, I think.
Yeah, the old ones were, I think, 200.
150s.
Yeah.
All right.
Something to look into before,
Right.
And this is also real preliminary for the grant phase. I've already talked to the chief. There's quite a few security features that we can add to door locks and things like that to make it a safer environment. That way no one can go in and lock a door or anything like that.
Okay. Very
But you need a motion for this.
A motion to pass it, yeah.
Okay, can I have a motion to pass the Greenways Trail and Recreation Resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter. Second by Mrs. Loalba. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
And the final thing I have is we've talked about a flagpole at Cribbs Field. I've done some research, found different styles of flagpoles. I think for the amount of kids that play up there, the internal style, so you have to have a key to access the mechanics of raising the flag and taking it down is probably the best option.
Yes.
I know initially we had talked about the scoreboard. I don't think that's the best area just based on the way that the ground slopes there. I had talked to Dave. We were thinking more over towards the pavilion. Really don't have an exact location locked down yet, but somewhere in those areas. Definitely would want to make sure that if we got the grant, it's far enough away that it doesn't impede with the construction of the new one. So I did look at it before. A 25-foot high wind pole would be around $1,000. For a 25-foot pole, it requires a 4x6 flag, and then the shipping on it would be about $350. If we wanted to being that we're not next to the fence anymore, we have a little leeway as if we have to be above the fence or not. So I did look at a 35-foot pole that goes up to $1,500, and it would be around the same amount of shipping.
How much did you say the shipping was?
It's between $300 and $400, depending on the taller the pole, the more expensive the shipping.
So we're talking in the vicinity of, if it's a 25-foot pole, approximately $1,500 and...
With tax, probably around $1,500. If you're looking at a 35-foot pole, you're looking about $2,000.
How high is the fence over there, Matt, do you know?
Does it have that extender on your side?
Part of it does.
So the sections of the fence that have that extension on the top of it is between 16 and 18 foot tall.
I wouldn't think it'd even be over that far near the fence anyway, because you're going to want it for both ball fields to be able to see it.
Yeah, we're going to keep it away from the fence, so even if you had the 35-foot pole requires a 6x10 flag or a 10x6 flag, so even at 10 foot long, as long as you kept the pole 10 foot away from the fence, you wouldn't get it tangled with the fence at all.
The only thing I want to make a comment on is, I know like at work, at our building, when they put a shorter one in. So whenever they put it at half mast, half staff, it's like it's on the ground.
Yeah.
So you want to watch that because that looks real dinky.
Well, yeah, if you put the 6x10 flag on a 35-foot pole and put it at half mast, it would then only be 7.5 feet off the ground. But that size flag is also just a recommendation. So.
Right. Just a comment, that's all.
Yeah, I know. I've seen them before too. The real big ones, they're almost touching the ground at a half mast. And I believe we can get flags through DeLuca.
I already got one
Oh, okay.
for you.
That's good.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
we just have to decide which...
Just decide which height we want, and then I can work with Jerry to get them the item number and everything on it.
Okay.
Any preference on what size?
I think if you put it in the middle of the field, like between the two fences, like he's talking near be on the middle there, I think a 25-foot would be adequate.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't have a problem with that, yeah.
Because that way you have the locking mechanism so that they can get at it. And if you put it at half mast, it doesn't look like it's touching the ground.
Okay, 25 foot?
Okay.
Janet?
That's fine.
David?
Yeah.
Nancy?
Yep.
Sylvia? Okay.
So I'll work with Jerry. I'll get him the SKU numbers and we can go ahead and get it ordered. The one with the pole, I think it should be rather, the foundations for them are pretty easy, but just getting it erected, they might need assistance of a man lift or a bucket truck. I believe Oakmont has a bucket truck.
I don't know. I'll have AJ look into it and I'll look into it.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll definitely get something.
They might be, with the 25-footer, we might be able to do it just with the backhoe, but I'm not sure. I've never installed one myself, so.
You should be able to do it with the backhoe, but
yeah.
I'll talk.
I know you don't have to, the foundation's all separate, so you can dig the hole and have it ready, and then just while you get the pole set in place.
The issue with when you strap it to get it so it'll stand up.
Yeah.
And then you put it in the hole, then the strap's like 18 feet high, then somebody's gotta get the strap.
So then you gotta put a ladder up. I'll also talk to AJ and see if that's a
Now, is that
possibility.
going to be the brushed aluminum or stainless?
Well, we can go, it comes in 3.
Yeah, I remember you saying a couple different colors.
So it comes in a satin, which would be like a brushed aluminum color. You can get it in a bronze, a black, and those are both anodized, or you can get it with like a sprayed clear coat on it. I believe the coatings cost slightly more. It comes standard as the satin look.
Your thoughts?
Wait, you're saying like silver's not an option?
No, it comes standard, just the silver aluminum
Satin
color.
is the silver.
Yeah, correct.
Oh.
You good with that, the brushed aluminum?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it was just options.
Yeah,
Maybe somebody
yeah.
made it and said, hey, gold would look nice, or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's fine.
and from what I've read, that just the standard holds up better, because once you get a chip in the powder coat,
Yeah.
it begins to just continue the flake off.
Right.
Go with the satin.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
And finally, that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Clancy.
Just one thing for the road department, the street sweeper is back, and they started today, they're sweeping. Everything seems to be going good with it.
Yeah, seen him out this morning.
Well, not just one thing. Then the street signs pretty much are done, so I'm going to meet with AJ down here one of these evenings and mark out where the water line is going to go for over here, and we're going to start installing the water line and get that finished. That should only take, once they start, it should only take a day or maybe 2 days to have that done. And then Sandy gave me this list from the COG with the equipment that they're purchasing. It's a paver, a skid loader with a planer and a hydraulic hammer, a roller, it's called a melting kettle for the tar to seal around the edges, and the trailer for the paver. So once they have that, our guys will be able to, when they're able to borrow it, they'll be able to do a lot with it.
They were saying there's going to be training on that as well, and I think Senate Engineering.
There's a training.
Yeah.
So maybe our guys could attend that training?
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
And I think they're still trying to work it out, that I think they might possibly be looking to try to hire one person that has more knowledge on the paver, and basically he would stay with the equipment, and then the local employees would basically provide the labor for the other equipment and things like that. But
Yeah.
that's still kind of in the air.
Yeah.
The COG is going to hire them, or Senate's going to hire them?
The call.
Now, in the past, when I used to do this, we shared equipment. And if something broke down, something needed oil change, whoever had it would do the oil change. If something needed welded, if another Harmer had it, they would do the welding on it and fix it. How's that, the maintenance, I guess, part of it, did they talk about that?
I think that still has to be worked out. This was kind of, because we got the grant, they kind of rushed along with it. So
Right.
some of those fine details still have to be worked out.
I think they were talking about there being a checklist in that when people take it out and borrow it and stuff, to make sure everything's kind of like when you rent a car.
Right.
They take it back, it's the same thing.
Yeah, and then is it going to be at a central location, or is it going to be like before we borrow it, we keep it until somebody else needs it?
That's how it was before also.
I
yeah.
think they were trying to find a central location to where it could be returned to. Obviously, you can keep it overnight or however long you're using it.
Yeah.
But once you were done with it, they were trying to find a central location. Last I heard, a possibility was the Springdale Fire Hall, Springdale Township, up on top of Pillow Avenue there, because they have a nice big kind of gravel parking lot there. But I'm not sure if they got any further with any talks of that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, that's the way it used to be. If we
Yeah.
borrowed something, we'd put it down in a yard until the community needed it.
I think it's better if there is a central
Brought it
place,
back.
but we just gotta find a place for it to go.
Yeah. At one point, we had the roller, I
Yeah.
think for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Nobody needed
And
it.
then,
We were
then
left.
the problem is it all gets spread out and no one knows where it's at.
Right,
Exactly.
yeah.
So there's still some details to work out, but the good news is we are gonna have the equipment available, so.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I need an exec session, we don't have to return.
Okay. Dr. Carpenter?
I just also wanted to say, I hope everyone had a really good and memorable Memorial Day, enjoyed their holiday. In terms of ordinances, the 6 ordinances that we have approved at various meetings since February have been advertised, and I believe we're going to wait just till the regular borough meeting when Craig is here to vote them in as official ordinances. There are 2 new ordinances that are being worked on. One has to do with the business district vacancy ordinance for vacant buildings, and the other one has to do with parking in front yards and the constructing of parking slabs. So those are in the queue. And I also just wanted to mention that the first movie, summer movie, is coming up on June 1st. It's Sing, and it's up at Cribs, I do believe. On Sunday, the 3rd, this Sunday, is another concert in the park. It's the Polka Band. I guess they're pretty popular. And next Thursday, June. June, is it 7th? Yeah, 7th is the first farmer's market. The other thing I wanted to just say is Memorial Day and what it's all about had me thinking about recognizing people for their service to the country, whether they sacrificed their life or, were able to come back. And that got me to thinking, with some discussion that went on, how important our volunteers are to the community. And Dave had mentioned that also. So I started putting together a list of all of the volunteers that I could think of since I've been here, that I know, some I don't know, of people that have served this community as a volunteer. And I'd like to recognize these people at this point because of the idea of Memorial Day and remembering. So I'm just going to go over this real quick. Back in the day, there was a community group that was started by Leanne Grill and Obie Morford, and I believe Bob and Mary Ann and Sylvia were a part of that at that time. There are many past council members that are also volunteers who I'd like to recognize, including Tony Fatulis, Peggy Suchovich, Kevin Larkin, Rhoda Gemellis, Leo Bickert, and forgive me if I forget somebody as I'm going through this list, and if anybody thinks of someone, let's add it on. The Fall Festival used to be run by Ann Larkin, and I think Peggy Suchovich was involved, and I think Don was involved. I don't know, were you involved too, Dave? So there's that.
Yes, I was too.
And Sandy. Okay, I don't know. I'm happy to add to that.
Joe, where we were on the board.
Oh, Joe and Sylvia. Okay.
On the board.
So there's a lot of volunteer work involved in that. The Garden Club was started, I believe, by Bob and Mary Ann. Is that correct? And that now Angela has taken over the presidency, but many other people were involved in the Garden Club, past and present: Patty Tuminello, Mary Ann Yingling, Sylvia, Sandy, Denise Gemellis.
Sonia Smith.
Okay, Sonia.
Dujak.
Pardon me?
Forget what her first name was, Mrs. Dujak.
Okay.
Regina?
Yep.
Regina? Okay, these are people I don't know, so I appreciate this, that we can recognize these people. The Chamber, everybody on Chamber is a volunteer. All of the Ewings, Keir, Kevin, Kirk, I think Mike Vento, Dave and Sam Stockman, Patty Tuminello, Patty Thomas, Stephanie from Edda's. There's some other people that have been, Sylvia, yes. Dave, right? You're on
30
the
years.
Chamber, Dave, okay. Anybody else anybody can think of? Past, present, Chamber?
Yeah, I was on it.
Oh, Dawn, that's right. Okay. See, yeah, it's not a perfect list, so please don't feel slighted if I've forgotten. The Farmers Market, pardon me, who? Leo, that's right. He was on the Chamber, that's right. The farmer's market was started by Rhoda, and I guess Don too, and is now been taken over by Patty Thomas. The calendars, Luke and Kathy Maddox do the calendar most of the time. I help them a little. Janet takes care of the one up on the top of the hill now, but I think someone did it before you.
Leo did before.
Leo, okay. Movies in the Park. I think that used to be run by Rick and Linda Romick. I don't know if there was movies before them or not. Then Leo took it over, and now the rec board is
It
doing.
was myself, Earl Hendricks, he was a councilman, and Peggy Suchovich.
Okay, see, I didn't know that.
We had started that.
All right, great.
Linda did the sign before anybody.
Right, they did the...
And they did the sign up at Cribs. Okay. And speaking of that, now the rec board has taken over the movies in the park, and they're all volunteers. That would be Mike Forbeck, Trish Showalter, Vince Floda, Brian Duncan, Dave Maitland, Jim Ashbaugh, Tim Long. Janet's at every meeting as a liaison to the council, and I'm an alternate, and I go to the meetings that I can make it. Past mayors, Bill Helmsley, Tony Fatulis, Lenny Brennan, currently Dave Recupero. People who work on the newsletter, Kathy Ferguson, Sylvia, Angela, Sophie, I don't remember her last name, kind of started this one up, and then I knew there was a newsletter before that.
Rhoda and Dawn did that.
Who did?
Rhoda and Dawn.
Rhoda and Donald, okay, the first newsletter.
Bob and Julie.
Bob and Julie, right, okay. And concerts in the park, I think is mostly run by Patty Tuminello, and Marianne Yingling helps her out. Patty Tuminello does Community Day. Denise Jamelis used to run the 5K. You know, again, additions are welcome. Let's see, what else? Litter cleanup. Luke and Kathy Maddox coordinate the litter cleanup. Many people who are in this room have contributed to doing that. Allegheny Together. That was a significant thing that happened in this town that has gotten us on the road to the improvements that people are complimenting us about today. And I believe that Mike Vento and Bob Steinhaus had a lot to do with that. And I know that Kathy Ferguson was involved, Patty Tuminello, Bridget Seary, Bob Geiselhart, Donald.
I was there.
Sandy was there.
Nick Fatulis was one of the originators of it.
Who else?
Nick Fatulis.
Nick Fatulis, okay.
Rhoda Jamelis.
And who else? Rhoda. Oh, Rhoda. Well, that's right. Rhoda and Donald had a lot to do at the beginning of that, I believe. Writing some grants or something?
Yes.
Yeah, Don and Rhoda.
So, Dory Thompson.
Dory Tampa, okay. Great.
I'm on that too.
And you were there too? So again, I apologize for any names that I miss in the beginning, but I just can't remember everything. And remember, so that was a significant group that really did a lot for this town. Tree Vitalize, Bridget, I think, mainly did that, and we have a lot of cool trees now because of Bridget getting free trees for us.
Birthday.
Pardon me? Earth Day. Earth Day, I wasn't too aware of. What's that?
Bob, me, Rhoda.
Okay. And Rhoda? Anybody can think of anything
Bike
else?
derby. The bike derby's been
I'm
going on
sorry.
forever.
Okay, bike derby first was Peggy, and now it's obviously run by Sandy.
What was actually run by Officer Jim
Yeah.
Stepp.
Okay. I don't know. I wasn't living here when that was
25
happening.
years ago.
Allegheny Together?
Yeah, I did say that, yeah. But tell me again about the bike derby besides Peggy and Sandy?
Officer Jim Stepp, she started it.
A police officer?
Yes, she was the first female officer in Verona.
And Sergeant Franco's pretty much handles it all now.
Okay, Sergeant Francos. Okay. All right, yes, bike derby coming up on the 9th.
I think you need to put the volunteer firemen down.
I was
Okay,
going to mention something here. First of all, I have a comment.
okay, volunteer firemen.
If anybody in this borough does anything volunteer work, and they're looking for a thank you, they're into it for the wrong reason. They're doing it because they want to do it to make the community look better and not expect a thank you. It's nice to get a thank you. The Verona, you didn't even put yourself under for the council, what they do here. The fire department are out there 24/7. I just think you're going way above here, thanking people that have done stuff, and they've already been thanked.
Well,
I just think if somebody's doing stuff for the community, they want to do it, they want to do it for the community without any, oh, thanks, I did this, look at me, boo-hoo. That's not why people get into it. And I just think that thanking everybody for every single little thing and keep thanking them, I just don't agree with it.
well,
Because you're going to miss somebody and tick somebody off.
This is the first time anybody thanked anybody.
No, I disagree.
First time.
I disagree.
That's not true.
I disagree. I
I
disagree.
didn't want to I just wanted to recognize people because I felt, as David did at the last meeting, that I forgot appreciating some things that had recently happened, and I felt in the,
It's not a shame. There's a lot of people that do a lot of good here, Dawn. But does somebody
Would it
do it, do they do it because they just want to thank you? Or do they do it because they live in a nice town?
Anybody here being, you see anybody here clapping, you see anybody
There is people
here-
that expect that.
Come on, Ray.
No, come on you, Dawn. You sit out there and just keep flapping.
so
We can hear it up here.
I'd like to be able to finish my comment. I'll be done in less than a minute.
I elected you.
I'm just speaking my mind.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think
Okay.
it's
That's
a part
right,
of the
my
meeting
mind.
comments.
Okay, anyway, the volunteer firemen are obviously something very important to recognize. This is a recognition, like it was Memorial Day, there was recognition there, and I just felt like I wanted to recognize. This is me speaking, having forgotten to recognize in the past, realizing how important it is to recognize volunteers. And you certainly have a right to your opinion, Ray, but I also have a right to do the
Absolutely.
recognition.
Absolutely.
And I recognize everyone on this council for all the work that they're doing as well, so.
Well, thank you, you too.
And, you know, and again, I don't want to piss anyone off because I forgot someone. If someone else on here can help me complete this list, I'd be happy to take that information. I might compile it later and hand it out or something, I don't know. Okay, that's all, thank you.
Mr. McCarthy?
I see that the new fire truck is finally licensed and able to get in service. And I know it's been a while trying to get that done, and it's good to see it. It's on the road again, and that's it. The contract, I want to meet with Dom and Sandy so that we can get this police contract moving.
Yeah, I'd like to meet with the,
Well, I need to meet with you guys first.
Am I on there too, Pat?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ray, so that we can get this motivated and try to get it done by the end of June or first part of July. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Suchovich?
Nothing going on finance and budget at this time.
Thank you. Mrs. Lualba?
Wanted to mention too, Friday is this moving the park at Cribs. Dom, if you could get the guys to put the screen up at Cribs.
same place?
Yes, that would be great. At dusk, hopefully it doesn't rain. The rain date will be Saturday, the day after. Hopefully we get through it.
I think
Hopefully we have movies.
I think the rate's supposed to be Thursday. I didn't hear about Friday.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Sporadic.
So far, we've been lucking out. Last year, there was only one movie that was seen because the weather was so terrible.
Yeah.
But we do have rain dates this year, so hopefully. And I know the little flyers have been going out the window, like Trish said, she's been putting stacks out at Giant Hill. She doesn't know if they're getting thrown away or people are actually taking them, but it will be nice to see a nice crowd up there, so hopefully we do. And the band that is playing Sunday is the Mon Valley Push, and they come in these big buses, and they are really a lot of fun. I did see them last year. There were people dancing. If you like polkas, I mean, it was a good time for a lot of people, and hopefully the weather holds up.
What time does that start?
6?
6 for the, yes, yeah, you'll hear them. I mean, they were a great band. They really were a lot of fun, like I said. I need a little bit of an exec session as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Provenza?
Yes, thank you. June 12th is the last day for ads and articles for the newsletter. So if anybody has anything they'd like to contribute, please see me. I'll appreciate it. We want to get it out, get this all done early so we can get the newsletter out before the holiday. I thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty, council will not hear comments from the public at this time on public-related items. Please approach the podium and clearly state your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Angela Capini, 521 Center Avenue. We have about 12 dead bushes out at the new pavilion, and I wanted to know, can we make plans to pull them out, or maybe Resnick pull them out, have them replaced? Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, everything else is fine except for the 12 bushes. Originally, Penn Hills Lawn and Garden planted them, so I don't know if you want to go back to them and repurchase, but obviously not the same bush because it didn't do well. I wouldn't trust to plant it again. So I don't know, it just doesn't look nice. Everything else looks beautiful except for those 12 dead ones. So if maybe somebody can contact Resnick or, you know.
I'll call him, have him pull them out. Do you want him to put something else in there, or do you want?
It doesn't matter to me who puts them in, if you want to use him, or if you would like to use Penn Hills Lawn and Garden. That's who planted everything. It doesn't matter as long as we can pull them out and make them look nice.
Do you still have the receipt?
They're usually guaranteed.
They have,
for a year.
yeah, it's been two years, so yeah.
Online does 3 years.
Do you have an idea what would go good in there?
I do not, but I would ask the landscapers to recommend what would do good, you know, being that it's pretty much full sun down there, just something that would, you know, thrive.
He mentioned to me the other day that a lot of these plants that are in the tree beds, that they're dying because there's no topsoil in there. He said
the tree beds, that's not, the garden club didn't do it.
You didn't do that? Okay.
I believe some of the business owners planted that.
Okay, they're all dying.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some of the business owners did. And I can't remember exactly who, but somebody did tell me who planted them, but it wasn't the garden club. It was, I think, a business or 2 business owners went out and planted the daylilies in there.
Yeah.
That wasn't us.
He said it's all tree roots. It's not going to live in there.
Yeah, it wasn't us. We didn't do that. Yeah, so, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we'll make sure those get changed.
Okay, thank you.
Don Worf, 66 3rd Street in Verona. I'd just like to say thank you, Council, for recognizing all the service of all the volunteers in this town over the years. As an educator, I'm sure that if there's any other educators on this board, which I know there's at least one, know that praise is one of the strongest motivators that we have. If you want anything done, if you want this town to grow and flourish and become even better than it is, you depend on your volunteers and you give them the praise they deserve. A little praise goes a long way. And I don't hear enough of that from council. I don't see council even coming to any of the affairs, with the exception of 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe 4. The rest of you don't come. You were elected to serve the town. You ran on that platform. You wanted to serve, just like the volunteers want to serve. But serving goes beyond just sitting up here twice a week or twice a month and doing the official duties. Volunteering is part of that, I think. Getting out and exposing yourself to the public, be it on the fire truck or be it out planting trees. That's part of your job, in my opinion. You don't have to do every single thing out there, but once in a while you get out there and volunteer and represent this town. Show the town that you care about the town and about the people that live in this town. They're out there volunteering, yeah, because they want to. That was Dr. Carpenter's right to make that presentation. And it was wrong for anyone to deny that or to belittle that. You wouldn't do that to the brave military that have served this country and died for it. You see a soldier, did you ever serve?
That's not the question.
No. There is no question.
There is not a stop.
Why do I have to stop?
There is not a single person on this board that just participates twice a month. I can tell you that as somebody that doesn't volunteer in the...
You're getting paid to say that.
I'm getting paid to defend these people?
Apparently, you're defending them.
I'm on the phone with these people every day.
That's great, that's your job.
I understand that, but they don't put in twice a month, Dawn. They don't. And I have no reason to lie.
Well, they don't volunteer for anything else.
I've been to probably 13 meetings the month of May to a tune of pretty close to 50.
As a volunteer, I don't go to 13, I'll be honest with you. I don't go to 13, but I go to quite a few too.
So there's a lot happening behind the scenes that you're not aware of.
And there's a lot that council's not aware of. That's my point. I think there should be a bridge here between council and the community. We don't recognize maybe one another enough.
And I would probably agree with you on that.
Yes.
Because as president of council, I've been kicked in the shins quite a few times.
You're tough, though.
The praise now doesn't really mean a whole lot to me.
Well, it should, and then you're not fit for the job. You're not. Then you should resign. Thank you.
And you'd find somebody else, I'm sure. Anybody else? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn to exec session?
I'll make a motion to adjourn to exec session.
Second.
Second by Mr. Suchevich.
Paul, can I make a quick comment? In reference to what Nancy was saying earlier about the grass and so forth and the sidewalks. Those types of items, when the website allows us to make monthly, weekly comments and so forth, that'll all be taken care of. And also, those types of items are going to be listed in the, as articles in the newsletter too. So those are two areas right there. And the other thing that we started was the borough representation at the farmers markets. So we have programs and pamphlets and a lot of information for the residents to get a hold of. And that's a good platform, because a lot of people are going to be attending these events.
Great, thank you. Appreciate that. A lot of avenues to get the word out.
Motion to adjourn to exec session. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Real quick, Marion Ware, 5 on the pylon, would you please ask resident to take out that big dead rose bush?
Where?
Terrible. Right on.
You said at the pylon. Is it going out of town? Which side?
Right in the middle.
It's on the right.
It's on the right-hand side?
On the right.
Okay.
Where Jones Street is, right?
He's a landscaper and fell a damn dead tree.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, motion to adjourn has been accepted.
Who had the motion?
I made the motion.
He made the motion to adjourn. Ray seconded it.
All those in favor, aye.
Say aye. And then there's a comment.
I need Jerry and Sandy.